Welcome to the North South Kids Podcast. Super pumped today. We got Alex, as always, aka just one episode, but we're on episode 2 now. And we got the prodigy child here with us today, Evans Hicks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, our first guest ever, Evans Hicks. I guess just give us a little bit of a background to tell the people who you are, and I've got some questions cooking already for him.
Yeah, so my name is Evans with the S. A lot of people forget that, but I'm 19 years old. Decided not to go to school and ended up in this beautiful building. Met these great guys and just doing life, rocking and rolling, and having a lot of fun. So
yeah, I think that's a great place to start off. Is just like how you kind of got your in at Welling Media, and potentially starting even farther back. Your decision not to go to college after high school, and then just kind of continuing on from there.
Yeah, so kind of early on, I've always been interested in sports, played sports growing up, but then started paying closer attention to kind of like how sports are portrayed. So then hype videos kind of became a thing. So then when I got to high school, we had a media track at our school, and I was kind of debating between actually playing football, or I knew I wanted to do like media stuff, so I was like, I kind of want to film the game. So ultimately I came to the decision to pursue the media track, and kind of learned a lot about videography and things like that, editing and all that fun stuff. And so then kind of branded myself as the media guy at my high school. And so all that entailed was, news packages and things like that, but then found a passion for sports videography. So started doing that, and that's really kind of where I found my love for video and just creating content. I did, fun stuff like YouTube videos when you were a kid, just kind of fun messing around with the camera. But high school is really where it kind of took off for me. Originally, I thought I wanted to be like on ESPN, like sitting at the college game day desk with like Curb Street and Chris Fowler and all those guys. And then kind of close to my senior year, started to kind of round out, and I had to make a decision about school. I've always grown up, I was a huge Florida fan, University of Florida. So always wanted to go there. Applied, got accepted, was kind of like, okay, I'm good to go. Then went and toured all their facilities and everything. Very nice. Everything was super cool. Then I was kind of like, is this really what I want to do? Because this is a big step to move all the way down to Florida and like do this, and a lot of money. And so then kind of the more I thought about it, took a lot of time, and realized I kind of wanted to go maybe a different route, be more behind the camera, doing the hype video kind of thing, which is originally why I got into media and all that kind of fun stuff. So decided to opt out of that. Didn't really know where my next steps would take me. But over the summer, I did a kind of like an internship thing with the Nashville Soccer Club. And then towards the end of the summer, I had a friend, mutual friend, girl from church, and she was like, hey, this guy, he does some media stuff. I don't know if you guys be interested in sitting down having coffee or whatever. So she gave me his number. We sat down, we had coffee, met. I didn't think, it was really cool. Tell me about his job. I was like, that'd be a sick place to work. And then I get in the car, and not even like 30 minutes after we met, he's like, do you want to come in for an interview? I'd be like, heck yes, I want to come in for an interview. And then it just kind of took off from there.
It was kind of random because it was like a meeting where it was like, we were just chopping it up. I didn't know him beforehand.
Yeah, we had zero clue who each other was.
I walked in, I didn't know he was sitting there, and so like we both looked around. I saw him. I was like, okay, this has got to be Evans. And then we talked, and it was just like I was just giving him information, like my kind of like background and my story, and like my journey from if you listen to the last podcast, you kind of heard that. So I kind of just gave that to him, and then it like sparked something in me. I was like, oh, like we kind of need an intern right now, and we had like talked about it at one point, but it never really happened. And so I just asked him one question. I was like, hey, have you ever worked with like Adobe or whatever, like the software that we used to edit? And he said, yeah, it's like all I do. And I was like, okay, cool. And so then we left and whatever, didn't mention it to him at all. And then I texted Chan. I was like, yo, you want to bring on an intern? He's like, yeah, let's get him in the office, talk to Josh. And so as soon as we did that, you came in and you like got the job. Or you got the internship like what, 2 months?
Yeah, 90 days. So we do like a 90-day internship. And so, Evans came on board, did 90 days, and after that got a full-time offer, and it's really cool because he's a salaried employee now. He has the option for benefits, which I don't think you accepted him because I think you're still on your parents, right? Yep. Which is, in my opinion, a smart move because that way you're not paying for it.
I still am on my parents.
Exactly. But it's kind of crazy being, 18, right?
19.
19, and, having a salary. I remember,
it's so crazy.
Being that age and literally like working at a restaurant as a host, and I was making $10 an hour.
It's so weird, and like all my friends obviously like went off and went to school and like doing the whole college thing, and so for me it's like a weird, like I'm making the money that you guys are gonna have in debt in 4 years. Like it's crazy, like the amount of money per year. Like and I'm getting a 4-year head start on a career that I have a lot of friends want to do exactly what I do, and they're in school right now, and I'm making my dreams come true by being here. And so it's just it's like a weird, like, it's just freaky to think about that, like, all my friends are doing this. I'm just such a different stage of life, but I'm in the same age, and so it's like a weird transition period. But it's dope.
It is whack a little bit.
Man,
that is really
crazy.
cool.
You're kind of dodging a bullet, but then like you go and hang out with friends. Like for instance, like when I went to FSU, it was like, oh dang, that sounds so fun. Like be at school with all my friends.
The thing is, like, the experience. And that was like what I kind of struggled with is like, I'm gonna miss out on the, like, what some people say the best 4 years of their life.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like a weird.
But you can go hang out and like do whatever you want with your friends.
Oh, for sure. Like,
weekend.
I'm lucky enough to have a good group of friends that stayed, so we were able to kind of, you know, grow from them. And obviously everybody here is super dope, be able to have these kind of connections. The thing I love about here the most is probably the culture. I mean, like, a lot of people can do what we do, what I do specifically. Like, a lot of people can, and just they don't get the culture. And that's what's so unique about this place is everybody here is so special, comes from completely different backgrounds, but we can all come together and have a great time every single day.
Yeah. So Evans came on immediately after his internship, and now he's full-time at Welling Media as one of our content creators, and has gained a ton of experience in the last few months, and it's been really cool to see him grow in this position.
I think a lot of people, especially in the creative space, you learn from other creatives. And so in high school, I had a teacher, obviously, but he was super hands-off, kind of let me do whatever I want to do, which I'm super grateful for, because I kind of find exactly what I want to do and pursue that.
As well, too.
Yeah.
For a certain amount of time. So like,
for sure,
for instance, like I came here, like I did my own thing. I didn't know what I was doing, and like once I came here and I started learning from Max or Haas, or like even little things from Chandler, like when he like give me little pointers, like I now know more than my friends that are in film school. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Crazy. Just from being thrown in the fire.
Exactly. A lot of it is, you know, you learn as you go, and a lot of it is what, you know, your work is what you put out, and so you produce, and all of a sudden you're gonna see growth just because you're doing it every single day.
Like, even now, like I don't get to see what you work on as much anymore because I'm in front of you.
Yeah.
But when I come back and I see like what you're working on now as compared to what you were working before.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like all the baby boys had a chance on Shine Armor, I think, at one point. And so you go from that, and then you get like something like, I don't know, just for instance, like snow or whatever. Like your creative, like almost like cushion starts to like ease off a little bit. You get to go crazy sometimes. I see your stuff now. It's like just insane stuff. So,
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the progression is quick too. Like when you surround yourself with like really like that's the point of culture, right? Is you surround yourself with really good people in order to grow faster. And so like if you look at your skill sets now compared to 6 months ago, it's incredible how much you actually change in that short amount of time. And that speaks to culture, right? Like the people that are actually in the room with you every single day that contribute to how much knowledge you're gaining and all that. So
it's what you're like consuming as well. Like I think a lot of people are afraid to like copy other people. Like I wouldn't be afraid to copy, but curate it. Like find someone. For me, like instance, I don't know who exactly I started taking my stuff after, but you just watch other people's videos.
It's like a style.
And then you start to adopt their style and put your like little flavor into it. Like there's nothing wrong with that. That's what like creatives are here for. Like there's not gonna be one person who's like, oh, they only do this and you can't touch their stuff. Like find different people's stuff. Like I know people that are afraid to do it, and like I don't know. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with
and
that.
Doing it every single day, like for me, like when I did it in school, it was like there's a part of me that always says like, okay, this is part of school. So like, you know, it's like whatever. But like, you know, have other school stuff going on, but here it's like, it's an actual job. So it actually means something. This is actually like, you're getting paid to do this. Companies are going to use this and like post it somewhere. It's like, it's legit. This isn't school anymore. So for me, it was kind of like that internship I think was really good for me to kind of get used to everything before I like jumped head first. And even when I started getting paid here, I was like scared almost because I was like, these people know exactly what they're doing and whatever. When really, I mean, everybody's learning every single day. And so for me, just to get adapted to everything took me a little bit. But then once I got adapted, obviously, you know, you kind of hit your stride. And then when people put confidence in you, it gives you confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you guys were so, you know, awesome just letting me segue into here and then just do my thing. And you guys helped me, you know, get to where I am now, which I'm extremely grateful for. You guys are great. Just helped me grow. It's crazy.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Cool. So we have to talk about TikTok. Just
For
a little bit.
Man.
This guy's a sensation.
He is. He's a TikToker. He's popping on the scene right now. How many followers do you have on TikTok?
I think I have about 185K, I
Yeah.
think.
86, I think.
86,
I checked
sure.
last night.
Yeah.
I think I have 9 followers on TikTok.
It's a start. Everybody
yeah,
starts somewhere.
yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Not even all the people in our company follow me. That's how bad
Oh,
it is.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking at me like I don't follow you. I send you DMs all the time.
No, I'm just not consistent. That's
You went hard
issue.
the first week.
I
Once you
did.
found out
Yeah.
you could get famous on TikTok, you went super hard.
Yeah.
And then you just stopped.
Yeah, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
It's because literally I just have way more important things
Oh, for
to
sure.
do.
Yeah,
I'm like, why am I spending so much time on TikTok
Yeah.
right now? I got to get off this nonsense.
It's a good app. It's addicting.
It
It's
is.
Oh,
It is.
addicting. I
so
caught
bad.
myself.
And if you're
in it.
great at dancing, it's
Yeah.
definitely a platform
For
for
sure.
you. And
Yeah.
for me, who has no rhythm at all, it's
Or
a
Chandler.
big struggle.
Yeah.
It's a big
one
struggle.
one thing I do love about the app though is the fact that literally anything can get millions of views. Like it is
Yeah.
insane. The just the spread of content is insane. You sing, dance, make jokes, make a mini movie out of it. Like literally anything.
Or you could be like Charlie, like the most famous person on TikTok,
Yeah.
and do the same freaking thing
Over
over and
and
over
over
and
and
again,
over.
and get 1 billion views on it.
Yeah.
Literally.
So talk about like kind of like your startup on TikTok, like
Yeah.
you know what made you post your first video and then kind of transition into how
Yeah,
like
so
it started to grow and you started getting more
The
attention
first really any interaction I ever had with TikTok was I guess last summer. I had a girlfriend or whatever, and she was doing it, so like did a dance
Yeah.
with her or
I-
whatever. and
Side note, by the way, a girlfriend or whatever, dude, kills me. Yeah, just a girlfriend or whatever.
my girlfriend.
She's gonna hear this and be
man.
like,
Yeah, dude,
wow.
she's gonna hear this and she's gonna be so mad.
But anyway, so I made one with her, and of course everybody kind of starts like, "Oh, this is stupid. Like it's just another whatever." And then,
People are still saying that.
then a little while later, me and my girlfriend broke up, whatever. And then like my friends started getting into it, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll take another look at this. I made an account, and then all of a sudden it just kind of started. I made some dumb videos here and there.
How long did it take for it to start rolling?
So it took a while actually, and I wasn't like super consistent on it. I wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna get famous on TikTok. I was just like every now and then post a fun video. And I made one. I was like hanging out in my room, and like I wasn't hanging out with my friends, but like I really wanted to, whatever. So I made some stupid like I had a sound that I made, whatever, and I made the video, and then a month later it got like 900,000 views, but it took an entire month for that video to like pop off.
That's crazy.
And so then I was like texting my friends. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like this is just like I made this a month ago. And so then from there I got a little bit of following. Got about 8,000, I think. And then a couple months later, I made one giving relationship advice. I was like in a cowboy hat, had
Yeah,
a
the
whistle,
coaching one,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, the coaching one.
You can probably feature it in the podcast.
Yeah, we'll drop it in real quick.
And then that one, pretty much over. I think I posted it on a Friday. By Sunday, it already had like 3-4 million views, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And so then it just kind of went from there. I think it eventually kind of topped off around like 8 million, I think is what it's at right now. And so I was like, okay, well, people really like this. And I gained probably at least over 100,000 followers just on that one video.
So how many total? Because like for each TikTok account, you have like how many you're following, your followers, and then the total likes you have, and all of your videos. What
Yeah.
do you
So I
have?
I think over 3 million likes on my profile. Yeah.
That is crazy.
And it is super crazy. And it's kind of weird because TikTok's algorithm, everybody tries to figure out the algorithm.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. And
Yeah.
people are like, how'd you do it? I'm like, I don't know. I just put on a cowboy hat and screamed at myself in the mirror. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I really don't know. And people ask me like, oh my gosh, you're TikTok famous. I'm like, okay, how do you define TikTok famous? Because
if you go
first
to
of
the
all,
mall, is anyone gonna recognize
that's
you?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So TikTok fame in and of itself is already not like famous, unless you're like Charlie or whatever.
Right.
But like, then like 180,000 compared to like the millions of followers that some people have, but like still 180,000 is like a lot more than some people. So like, it's like a weird, like, are you TikTok famous? Be like, kind of, but like not really. It's like a weird
My
spot,
sister is
but-
in love with you. She calls me. She called me last night, and she's
Yeah.
like, "How's Evan?" She doesn't even care how I feel. Like, how's Evan? She's never even met you, but she watches. Your stuff
That's
all
funny.
the time,
Oh,
so
that's good. I
when
love
she
her.
comes up, we'll have to do it.
Good, yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's funny.
But yeah, all my friends are like, "You're on my For You page. You're on my For You page." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah, thank you. And we have to, of course, bring up the 2 girls that showed up at the
Yeah, what the
office
heck, bro? That was
last
whack.
week. 2 girls show up and to make a TikTok video with Evans
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Absurd,
How,
bro.
So
I don't know how they found you.
So
but-
I was out. So on Snapchat. So here's the thing: you can draw. A lot of people. I put my Snapchat in my bio on TikTok, and all of a sudden I posted that one about the relationship advice, and all of a sudden like hundreds of girls are adding me on Snapchat. And I'm just scrolling through like, oh my gosh.
big deal.
So I made the mistake of adding like every single one back, just being nice. And all of a sudden they all started Snapchatting me, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. Started unadding people, whatever. But now I do like a fun thing where like you do streaks, like you snap back and forth every day. And I just do like fun like videos or like pictures I draw on them, whatever. So I was outside making one. It was right after the coronavirus came to Tennessee, and so I made a little like a video doing that. It's Corona time, and then bum bum bum, bum. And these two girls are walking down the sidewalk, and they're like, "We want to be on your TikTok. We want to be on your TikTok." And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't making a TikTok, but we can make a TikTok." So then we made a TikTok to that, and then just started talking to them. And they're two very cool girls. They're around my age, taking a gap year from school. So just kind of talking to them about the company, and then brought them in and showed them around and everything. They were really cool though. Met them on Instagram and stuff like that. So. But yeah, it was like weird, and it was bad because my initial reaction was, oh my gosh, they know I'm from TikTok. They're gonna come and like see me. This is my first time ever meeting like fans in public. I was like, oh my gosh, and then of course they had no idea who I was.
No idea who you were.
So I was like, oh well, but it was fun. They were really cool. But it was a unique experience because you don't meet new people like that every day.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was fun.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
TikTok's popping right now. It's been fun to watch.
I'm kind of surprised it's hung on for as long as it has.
It's because it's gonna become mainstream, as my opinion. So like, Instagram will be Facebook for the next generation, and TikTok will start to become Instagram.
Interesting. Yeah,
that's my opinion. Twitter just stays where it's at always.
Yeah, I think TikTok too. Like a lot of people are still like embarrassed. Like if you follow, like if you know me, please don't follow my TikTok. A lot of people have that. So I think Instagram, like everything's so different. Each platform is different but the same in the same way, you know.
Right, yeah.
And so TikTok, I feel like is a place where like you can be anybody you want to be. Like you can really be yourself.
Yeah.
Like and like you really won't get judged for it because like like I said earlier. It doesn't really matter what you post. Seriously, anything can get millions of views.
Everyone's doing it, so it's like.
And everyone's doing it, yeah. Exactly. Like, who are you to judge for me being myself or posting a fun video or whatever? And so Instagram, I feel like it's this place like the person you kind of want to be, right? Yeah. Everybody's posting like really cool pictures. Some people have like whatever, but a lot of people are posting really cool pictures or a portfolio for your work and things like that. I just think TikTok is unique in the sense that you can do whatever you want and you're not going to get judged for it. Right. So yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And then another like topic, so to kind of segue away from TikTok a little bit, but something that you've been kind of doing recently has been kind of revolving around like fitness and nutrition. Yeah. You kind of went through a pretty cool transformation that I wanted to cover just on this because it is pretty dramatic in my opinion. Like we have to do like a side by side picture of like now and after. So we're grabbing that picture from later. Sure. But just to talk a little bit about just your transformation, just like kind of what you did and you know, like how much weight did you lose, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so when I was like a little kid, like elementary school, I was always like really skinny. I was super fast, running around all that stuff, play football and all that stuff. Then got to middle school, started kind of getting out of sports, whatever, and then just kind of puffed up a little bit, and I was kind of like a little balloon, a little chubby boy. And so eventually I got to high school. It was kind of the same way, freshman and sophomore year, and then end of my junior year, I was like, okay, I want to feel good about myself, because like I look in the mirror, I'm like, well, I wasn't happy with it. So I was like, okay, I want to start making some changes. How do I do that? And I had like a cousin that was really into fitness and stuff, so I talked to him a lot, and just kind of started grinding. I was like, I want to look the way I want to look, and if I want to see a change, I have to like do something about it. Yeah. So a lot of it was like a mindset, like the fact that just I have to go, and if I go, I'm gonna feel good about myself. Because once I'm there, a lot of people, once they're there, you get into it and you're good and you feel good about yourself. Sure. So for me, it was just I want to look the way I want to look, and I want to look a certain way. Not to impress anybody, but for me, I wanted to look good and feel good about myself. And so just started grinding. Puberty played a role in that, just finally getting older. When I came into high school, I was maybe a little over 5 feet. Like I was very small and pretty chubby, and it was whatever it was. Small either. My family's tall. Yeah. All my family's really tall, and really? I'm short in the stick. My grandma is like really short, but my little so my little brother outgrew me, I think when I was in the 8th grade. So like, and he's tall. He's always been like, fairly skinny, whatever. And that bugged me for a little bit, but then eventually I was like, it is what it is. Like I can't help how I height. It is what it is. I can't help my height or whatever. So like, I just kind of turned into a joke. It was whatever. But then me and my brother, we always like to compete with each other. Where we're both very competitive, especially with each other. And so, he was still playing football. I was in high school, not playing sports anymore. So I was like, okay, I want to be able to compete with him. I want to be the good looking brother. Yeah. So I just kind of, went to work and started grinding. And then summer of my junior year, I was at the gym pretty much every single day during the summer. find it anytime I could, even at home, just do what I can. And then started, for me, eating, like, I want to be able to eat what I want to eat, right?
Yeah.
And I can eat healthy, but obviously that's a tough decision for a lot of people. So for me, it was portions. So like just eating less, and then you eat less, then you eat less more often, then you're not going to be as hungry as you were. And so for me, that helped a lot. I love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has my heart 110%. So, so I still want to be able to eat Chick-fil-A, but I just have to eat it the right way, you know?
Sure.
And so just going through that day in and day out. And then once you get into a routine, it's, it's pretty easy just to kind of keep doing what you're doing. You're used to it. So just started doing that, and then eventually started playing sports again in my junior year and senior year. So just kind of staying active, just doing what I can. And it wasn't like a constantly like, oh, I have to do this like all the time. It just kind of came a part of me, and so just kind of whatever. So it's a cool process to look back and be like, oh my gosh, like I look like that. And it's scary because I was like, oh my gosh, I look like that. Yeah. And so a lot of it, I really wanted to make sure it wasn't like, I didn't want to do it just because I had to like fit in or like I want to be a part of this friend group or because I had to look a certain way or whatever. Sure. Like it wasn't about that at all. It was just for me to feel good about myself. I didn't like the way I looked, so I needed to do something about it. Nobody else is going to come along and do it for me. Like I have to make changes.
I think that's the problem a lot of people have nowadays too, is like they like hate how they look, but they're scared to like just take the step, or they think they can't do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like I think that's huge for like if someone's listening to this right now, just like to just see the change, and if you see the picture of like him beforehand and now, like just how much it actually helps is like, I don't know, it's just easy. Just go ahead and you
can go in little steps. Like I decided to make the decision that that was me. I wanted to go like every day, try to go every day and work out in some way every single day. Yeah. And not everybody's wired the same way. For me, if I make up my mind, like I'm gonna go do it. That's just the way I am. So I made up my mind that I was, okay, I'm gonna get in shape. I want to look the way I want to look. So I'm gonna go do it. So I just did. And it's not that easy for some people. It's easier for some people.
It takes an extreme amount of patience too,
oh, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
I think, how long did it take you?
Honestly, I guess the way I was like, I kind of like chilled out on like all the working out with stuff was towards the end of my senior year. I got a girlfriend again my senior year, so it was kind of like, I was hanging out with her, and she obviously was like happy with her look. She wasn't pressuring me or anything, so just kind of chilled out and started. I was content with where I was, and patience is a big thing. I'm not a very patient person, but just the consistency, and then all of a sudden you look back months later and you're like, oh wow, that was a lot, and it's only been a couple months. So I think just don't think about necessarily like the end game like right away, because it's going to take a long time. Right. So obviously you have a goal that you want to get to, and so you kind of have that picture in your head. But every day I look at myself, I'm like, I could do a little better, like and that's always going to be in me, just to do a little better, because I know I can. But it takes time, and you have to know that before you go into it, for sure. And just do you, do work at your own pace. Nobody's pressuring you to do anything, like, just do you.
There's a process involved.
For sure, 100%.
You just got to be committed to it, and over time, like that's when the big changes happen.
There's a little trail going on.
Yeah.
Journey.
All right, so we got to talk about it. We got the Clorox wipes out today. We got the coronavirus going on right now.
I woke up and I was going to die today.
Yeah. Multiple people in our office have been sick, but have not had the coronavirus.
It's not like corona sick. It's just like allergies.
Like cold stuff. And everybody's obviously, they're hyping it up.
I know, everyone's hyping
a little scared.
Up right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So everyone's freaking out.
Yep.
What's your take on what's going on
It's
right now?
crazy. I think, I don't know, because what I feel like is that it's not like the biggest deal. Obviously, it's like it's a big deal. But for like somebody like me to contract it, from what I've heard and the little research that I've done, it's not gonna, be super effective to me. But
it's not gonna be a game ender.
Yeah, exactly. For me, but for a lot of people, like I know people with broken down immune systems, elderly people, like that can be a serious problem. So what's crazy to me is like the precautions that the entire like world is taking. Like countries are shutting down. In the USA alone, it's like all the sports leagues are like. I'm like, what? Like,
I know.
never
March Madness.
It's like end of the world type
Madness,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, that's
NBA,
gonna be crazy.
NHL.
MLB.
Everything.
Yeah, everybody's.
One thing I was talking to Andrew about today that really hit me. The only thing that's like really affected me is the fact that it could have been Vince Carter's last game last night.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Dude. Like, he put out a tweet. He was like, hey, like this is such a weird way to like end it, and if this is really it, I appreciate everyone that's been along for the journey. I'm just like, gosh, like growing up watching him, he's like one of my favorite players, and just the excitement that he brought to the
Yeah.
NBA.
So we might as well just do another season, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Might as well run it back.
Yeah, run it back, and then
he's got some in him.
Yeah.
Farewell tour,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like Dwayne Wade did.
But you're right about it being weird. Like the whole world is just like
Yeah.
weird. Like
Yeah.
you know.
Well, Mark
Yeah.
Cuban also came out today and said that he expects the playoffs to go through the August and finish it up. So I hope that happens for sure.
Well, like my biggest thing with it right now is it's just so hard to know what's actually truthful in the media.
Yeah.
Just 'cause
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seems to
Blows
be
it
just
up.
like a ton of agenda, you know, behind it. Like people make serious money during times like this.
Yeah.
Like it's legit scary, like how much money some people
And
will
if you're in
make
the
off
stock
of.
market. There's
Yeah,
a
like,
lot
yeah,
of-
you know, in whatever aspect it is, it's, you know, there can be a serious agenda tied to it. So it's hard to like pick the pieces that are actually truthful
Yeah.
Right.
from out of the equation. And so, you know, I think, you know, a lot of time the media hypes it up and it's like it's an election year and it's like, holy cow, like, you know, what is actually
Right.
truthfully happening? Because, you know, we're just hearing it, you know, from you
Who
know,
knows where?
secondary sources. It's,
Yeah.
it's nothing that, you know, we can control as far as what we're consuming. So
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what happens over the next month.
For sure. Yeah.
Does weather affect it at all? Like, I don't know if anyone knows
That's a
the
good
answer
question.
to this,
I don't
but, like,
know.
I feel like
it
the
didn't-
summer weather's coming around, just wipe it
Yeah.
out, you know? Like,
It's pretty
everyone be
direct. I'm
feeling
pretty
good.
sure it spreads from like pretty like direct contact, like mouth, you know, and like touching things. So like I don't think it's like necessarily airborne,
Yeah,
but
It's bacterial, right?
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Honestly, I'm
we're-
not scientific
yeah,
enough for
we're
that.
not. We're probably not.
I don't wanna
even-
say anything
that, I
too
really
wrong.
don't even know what that means.
you know,
Exactly,
We're
yeah.
not legit enough to probably even talk about
Nor do
this.
I want to be legit
Probably.
enough to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
No, but it's crazy, especially like my little brother's still in school, and like I have a lot of friends in school, and like the schools just shutting down.
Yeah.
All the
Like-
Florida colleges, like,
Yeah.
are going online.
Yeah,
All my
like
friends are
University of
literally-
Tennessee, a lot of people are going online. I have a friend in Idaho right now that's flying back. He says his flight has like literally like 20 people on it. Airport is completely like
Crazy.
nobody.
That's
Like
crazy.
yeah.
New York just shut down.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed
Crazy.
to have a flight next Thursday, or not next Thursday, but 2 Thursdays from now,
To where?
to Dallas. So I'm very curious to see what happens
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. And
And a lot of it's just like like you're curious, like what's
Yeah.
gonna, I don't know what's next.
yeah,
Like
I think the best thing to do is like be cautious about it.
Oh, for sure,
But
yeah.
at the same time, it's like, you know, there's no need to panic. Like
Yeah.
we're seeing like
Yeah.
all the toilet paper cleared off the shelves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, oh
there's
my
definitely
gosh.
always there's gonna be somebody that's gonna go to the
Yeah.
extreme. And,
2020's
you know,
been
been a year, bro.
insane.
So
We've
far,
been
it's
through
March.
a lot, dude.
It's
Yeah.
the third
We
month.
had
Third
World War
month.
III, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Kobe passing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We had the tornado like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
in Nashville.
And
Yep.
then now we have this nonsense.
I feel like there was other stuff too.
I did-
that
there's-
I
Oh,
can't
for
even
sure.
think
And
of.
it's yeah.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh.
been just
Yep.
a firestorm of
Yep.
Going
of
through
events.
it right now for sure.
Yeah.
Going through it, but
So, well, cool. I'm cool with just kind of
yeah. feel
ending
pretty
there
good.
today.
Yeah, sure.
I think Evans should come back on the podcast.
Yeah,
at
he's
some
gonna be
point.
really
more than happy.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Flowed nice.
It's fun.
But yeah, it's super fun to just watch Evans grow, just at the position here at Welling Media, and then just also on like TikTok and stuff. It's like so much fun to like just like watch from afar as
Yeah.
things
Just
go
going through my
crazy
feed,
on
just
there.
seeing him pop up like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what Evans did tonight.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
dude, thank you for coming on the
Oh,
podcast.
thank you guys for
I
having
really
me. Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's awesome. My pleasure.
Everyone out there, thank you for watching the podcast. We're doing this once every 2 weeks.
We'll start doing weekly soon.
Is the plan? Yeah, we want to do weekly just to put out more content and to kind of push this thing a little faster. So I think next podcast we're bringing on
Rob.
Rob
Rob.
Perry, who is one of our media buyers here at Welling Media. We're kind of doing our cycles within Welling Media, and then we'll probably, as we grow the podcast, we'll grab some people from outside and grow it a little bit more that way. But for the time being, just kind of introducing some, like we've got a very unique group of people here
yeah.
at Welling Media, and so I think there's going to be some really
Is that your phone?
cool talks.
Might be my laptop. Honestly, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some really cool talks
Yeah.
over the next couple months here
Yeah.
with the people that we bring on.
Get
So
Shane on too. Just gonna
yeah, Chandler will be on at some point in time when we can.
talk about his car, maybe.
Yeah,
Probably,
when
yeah,
we
who
can
knows.
fit it in his schedule. So
Yeah,
we'll see when we
very
can do
busy
that. But thanks again for watching.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, all the things.
Sick.
Is there?
See ya.